All food-saver appliances provide equal and excellent protection for extending the freshness of your food. This how-to tape will demonstrate the use of several food-saver models, including the V365, V375, and the V420. Some of these models have newly added features to enhance the ease of use and performance that we will show now. Additionally, at times throughout this video, text will appear on the screen to assist you. Your food-saver model may feature a removable drip tray, which fits right inside the vacuum channel, making cleanup easy. Two guides in the drip tray help position food-saver bags when vacuum packaging. Simply slip the opened end of the bag into the guides before closing the appliance lid and vacuum packaging. Small amounts of liquids may be inadvertently pulled into the vacuum channel during the vacuum packaging process. To remove for cleaning, simply lift out and wash in warm soapy water or on the top rack of the dishwasher. Check the drip tray after each use and empty any liquids that have collected. Finally, you can use your appliance without the drip tray in place, but using it will make vacuum packaging and cleanup even easier. Another feature on some food-saver models, including the V375, is the vacuum mode switch. Set the switch to vacuum and seal when creating a custom-sized bag from a roll, which will be explained later, or when vacuum packaging in a bag. Set the switch to the accessory mode position when vacuum packaging in a food-saver vacuum packaging canister or other accessory. Some food-saver models, including the V365 and V375, feature hands-free operation, so it's not necessary to hold the lid down throughout the entire vacuum and sealing operation. To begin, just press down on the lid. Hold for several seconds, and then let go. When the appliance pump stops running, simply press the Open Cancel button to open the lid. Some food-saver models, including the V420, have a compact design and can only use pint and quart-sized bags and 6-inch and 8-inch rolls. Other models, including the V365 and V375, are full-sized and can use any size food-saver bag or roll, including gallon bags and 11-inch rolls.
Hi, I'm Jan Muller from Tilly of the Food Saver Company. You've probably seen me demonstrating the Food Saver on TV. Well, in this video, I'll be showing you how to operate your Food Saver. I'll be demonstrating how to vacuum package in Food Saver bags, as well as other vacuum storage containers. You may not have all of the accessories that I'm going to show you, but I want you to be aware of all the food storage options available with your Food Saver. And any of the accessories I'll be showing you can be ordered by calling the toll-free number on your screen or visiting our website at www.foodsaver.com. Now, during this video, you'll see how the Food Saver removes the air that's the major cause of food spoilage, so your foods will stay fresh and without freezer burn 3 to 5 times longer. And with the Food Saver, you'll not only save your food, but you'll also save time and money. And always remember that vacuum packaging is not a substitute for refrigeration. Perishable foods, or those that say refrigerate after opening, will still need to be refrigerated after they've been vacuum packaged. But they'll stay fresh tasting 3 to 5 times longer than if you hadn't vacuum packaged them. Now, let's take a look at some of the features of your Food Saver. Before we get started, I have a couple of important suggestions. First, I recommend that you read your Food Saver user manual. You'll find that it has lots of practical information, and it's particularly important that you read the section about food preparation and storage so you'll know how to safely handle and store your foods. Your Food Saver also comes with a handy quick start guide. Now, throughout this demonstration, I'll have the Food Saver facing away from me. That makes it easier for you to see how it works. But when you do this at home, you'll want to have your Food Saver facing towards you. First, I'm going to start by pointing out some of the important features of your Food Saver. Underneath the lid is the vacuum channel. It's a trough surrounded by a rubber gasket. When you want to remove the air from a Food Saver bag, you need to put the open end of the bag down into the vacuum channel. This strip of Teflon that runs across the food saver is the sealing strip. This heats up to seal the food saver bags after the air has been removed. And underneath the lid, there are also some handy graphics to remind you how to use your food saver. This light on your food saver is the sealing light. It lights up whenever your food saver is in the process of sealing. And this button on the lid is the cancel button. You'll press it to unlock the lid after the vacuum and seal process is complete. Beside it is the accessory port. You won't use this port when you're vacuum packaging in food saver bags, but you will use it when you're vacuum packaging other food saver accessories. And finally, underneath the food saver, you'll find a handy storage compartment for the electrical cord. Now let's get started on the fun part, using your food saver. The most common accessories you'll use with your food saver are the specially designed food saver bags. These are not like any other bag on the market. These bags have patented air channels that remove the air quickly. Plus, the bags are 3-ply with a reinforced outer nylon layer to make sure that once the air is removed, it stays out. Now, with your Food Saver VAC 420, you can use the Food Saver pint-size or quart-size bags. I'm going to use a quart-size bag and a block of cheese to demonstrate how to vacuum package in a Food Saver bag. It's important that the food fits into the bag with about 3 inches to spare at the end. So there's enough room to vacuum and seal the bag. Now all you have to do is open the lid on your VAC 420, and you want to curve the open end of the bag down into this vacuum channel. So you're going to curve that end of the bag down into the vacuum channel. Now if the bag tends to curve up, just turn it over and curve it down inside the vacuum channel. It doesn't matter which side of the bag is up. The whole length of the opened end needs to be in the vacuum channel for the air to be removed. So make sure the bag isn't crooked like this. Make sure the bag lies smoothly all the way across the sealing strip without any wrinkles where the seal is going to be. The next part's easy. All you do is just close the lid and press down with the palms of your hands right here. That activates the pump. You can see it pull the air out of the bag. Once all the air is removed, the sealing light will come on. That tells you it's sealing. Now just listen for the motor to stop. That's the end of the process. To release the lid, press the cancel button and you'll hear it release. That fast, we have vacuum packed the cheese. In addition to the ready-made Food Saver bags, you can also make your own custom-sized bags using rolls of Food Saver bag material. Your VAC 420 uses the 8-inch wide rolls. To make a bag, all you do is cut the roll to the length that you need and then seal one of the open ends. Let me show you how to do that. I'll demonstrate using this piece of cheese. Now all you have to do is just roll the bag out on a counter, take the cheese and lay it on the bag. You want to leave at least 3 inches at the open end of the bag so you have enough bag material to vacuum and seal. Then all you have to do is just cut straight across the bag. Now we've given you some indicator lines here and here so you can take a pair of sharp scissors, cut straight across using those indicator lines as a guide. Now you want to seal one end of the bag because what I've got here is a tube of bag material. Both ends are open. All you do to seal one end is open the lid and lay one of the open ends on the sealing strip. Now take care that you do not put the end into the vacuum channel or have it laying on the rubber gasket. If you do that, it won't seal correctly. So make sure that you have that open end just on the sealing strip. I actually butt it up right next to the rubber gasket. Can you see that? Also, I make sure that there's no wrinkles in the bag. Then just close the lid, Using the heels of your hands, press down where the stars are. That activates the machine. It activates the sealer, and it'll seal that end of the bag. Now listen for the machine to stop running, just like that. It's finished. Press the cancel button. That releases the lid so you can open it up. Now see what a great seal we did here? Straight all the way across. There's no wrinkles in it, so we don't have to worry about the bag losing any air. Now all we have to do is finish the process by vacuum packaging the cheese. Take the cheese, put it into the bag, and lay the open end of the bag down inside the vacuum channel. Remember that we're now vacuuming, so the end of the bag goes into the vacuum channel. Lower the lid, press down, activate the pump. Keep pressing down until the machine completely stops running. The sealing light will come on, and that tells you that it's now sealing the end of the bag. Press the cancel button. That releases the lid. That fast, we have vacuum packaged the cheese in a custom-sized bag. Now, if you've got more than one bag to vacuum pack, always wait about 20 seconds before vacuuming the next bag. That gives the sealing strip time to cool down between seals. And when you're ready to eat some of your vacuum packaged cheese, here's how easy it is to get into the bag. Just take a pair of sharp scissors and cut right below that seal. You don't want to cut the bag down here because you'd be wasting bag material. So cut right below the seal, straight across with your scissors. Now you can get into the bag, take out the cheese, and use it. When you want to re-vacuum pack, put it right down into the vacuum channel like this, and vacuum package it just like I showed you. And don't forget, you can always refer to the graphics underneath the lid. They'll remind you how to vacuum and seal a bag. I'd like to share a couple of tips with you about Food Saver bags and rolls. Once you've made a bag, it's always a good idea to check the seal. This is what a good seal looks like. You see how it's even all the way across? There's no wrinkles, so there's no way that air can enter into the bag. If you ever notice that your seal looks like this, with a wrinkle in it, it means your bag wasn't lying smoothly over the sealing strip. This is going to let air inside the bag. If this happens, it's easy to fix. Just cut the bag right below the seal and then re-vacuum package it again. If you find it difficult to get the bag to lie smoothly over the sealing strip, you may not be leaving enough room between your food and the end of the bag. Leave at least 3 inches. You should also make sure that the inside of your bag near the seal area is free from grease and water. You know, when you put something into the bag that's got some liquid in it or is greasy, it can get right here on the bag. That will prevent the bag from sealing correctly. So it's a good idea to wipe the inside of the bag, just the top few inches, with a paper towel after you've inserted any moist or greasy items so that it's clean before you start vacuum packaging. Here's another tip. If you're vacuum packaging meats or fish that have a lot of liquid in them, fold a paper towel and place it between the food and where the seal will be. This will absorb the moisture and prevent liquids from being sucked into the vacuum pump. Let me show you what I mean. So here I have a piece of steak. Might have some juices in it. I want to make sure they don't get into the vacuum pump. So just take a paper towel, cut it to the size of the opening of the bag, and place it right inside your Food Saver bag. Make sure you put it down far enough so that you still have room to make a seal. Whenever you're vacuum packing foods with a lot of liquid, make sure you clean out the vacuum channel before you use your Food Saver again. Otherwise, any liquid that connects in this channel could get sucked into the pump and you could permanently damage your Food Saver. Here's a tip for soft fruits and berries that are easily crushable. Spread them out on a baking sheet. You can slice them first if you want, and then freeze them for 1 to 2 hours just until they're hard. Then vacuum package them and store them in the freezer. That way they won't get crushed in the bag, and they won't all clump together when frozen. So later on you can open the Food Saver bag, take out just the amount of fruit that you need, maybe just enough for a fruit pie or fruit salad, and then you can re-vacuum package what's left in the bag for another day. And when you're vacuum packaging vegetables, they should always be blanched first in boiling water or in the microwave, and then stored in the freezer. You'll find instructions on blanching in the food preparation section of your user manual. Blanching is important whenever you're freezing fresh vegetables because it stops the enzyme action that causes vegetables to lose flavor, color, and texture. And if you want to vacuum package vegetables that are easily crushable, you can pre-freeze them the same way you do for soft fruits. But make sure you blanch them first before you freeze them on a baking sheet. That way, you'll be able to store vegetables in meal-sized portions that will be fresh tasting even when they're out of season. Now, here's the secret to vacuum packaging liquids. You can't vacuum package liquids in food saver bags and rolls because the liquid could get sucked into the vacuum pump. But you can freeze the liquids first, then vacuum package them. For example, you can freeze soups and stews in a plastic container or loaf pan so they freeze into a block, just like I've done here. Then remove the frozen block from the container and vacuum package it in a food saver bag. You can even write beef stew right on the edge of the bag so you know what's in here. Now, the next time you're too busy to cook, just drop the frozen block, bag and all, into a pot of boiling water to heat, and you'll have hot, fresh-tasting homemade soup or stew in no time. You can also freeze liquids in ice cube trays, then transfer the frozen cubes to a food saver bag, vacuum package them, and store the bag in the freezer, just like I've done here with ice cubes so that I can make ice packs. This is a great way to make ice packs for your cooler. Or you could even freeze homemade broth this way, so you'll always have small amounts available for making soups, gravies, and sauces. And if you'll be vacuum packaging any items that have sharp edges that could puncture the food saver bags, for example, this silverware, wrap the items in a cushioning material, like a folded paper towel, before putting them in the bag and vacuum packing them. And lastly, here are two important points when it comes time to thaw your frozen vacuum packaged foods, your meat, fish, poultry, whatever. It's important that you always thaw them in the refrigerator. And don't ever wash and reuse your food saver bags if you have previously used them to store raw meat, raw fish, or raw poultry, or if you use them to store greasy foods, or if you boiled food in the bags. Now it's time for some other great food saver accessories. And what if you don't want to remove any of the air at all? You just want to seal a bag. Well, your food saver can do that too. Of course, you won't be removing the air, so you won't get any of the benefits of vacuum packaging, but there are times when sealing is all you need. Your food saver can seal strong Mylar-type bags like this potato chip bag. For short-term storage, you may want to seal some leftover potato chips to prevent them from getting stale before you eat them the next day. Here's what you do to seal a bag without removing the air. I'll demonstrate using this potato chip bag, but you could seal a food saver bag the same way. Essentially, I'll be doing the same thing I just did when I made a custom-sized bag from the food saver roll. All you do is open up the lid of your food saver and lay the edge of the bag on the sealing strip. Now make sure that you cut the bag straight across, okay? So that you're going to get a straight seal. Lay it right on the sealing strip. Once again, make sure you do not put it into the vacuum channel or rest it on the gasket because it won't seal that way. It has to be just on the sealing strip, just like that. Close the machine, take the heels of your hands, press down, activate the pump. It'll automatically turn on the sealer if you watch that green light come on. There it is, tells you it's sealing. Just keep pressing down until the motor shuts off. Press the cancel button to release the lid, and that fast, you've sealed the potato chip bag. Now, be clear about this. You can seal a Mylar-type bag with your food saver, but you can't vacuum the air out of it. It's not strong enough for vacuum packaging. When you're sealing without vacuuming, only use Mylar-type bags or food saver bags. Don't use other types of bags because the heat from the sealing strip could melt or burn them. You should have received an accessory hose with your Food Saver. This will allow you to use some of the great Food Saver vacuum accessories. Here are some accessories that I'm sure you're going to love. The Food Saver vacuum canisters. These canisters come in 3 styles: designer canisters, bulk storage canisters, and the square canister. They're all specially designed to be strong enough for vacuum packaging. You'll probably use the Food Saver bags mostly for foods that you store in your freezer, but you'll find the Food Saver vacuum canisters really handy for storing foods in the refrigerator or pantry, or even on your kitchen countertop. The canisters are perfect for those delicate items that could be crushed if they were vacuum packaged in a Food Saver bag. Things like chips, crackers, or even strawberries. And because you can remove the air from the canisters, they're great for keeping dry foods dry and crunchy, and also for keeping moist foods moist. First, I'll show you how to use the Food Saver designer canisters. These canisters are sold in sets. There's a 2-piece set, and there's also a 3-piece set. The designer canisters look good on your countertop, so you can use them to store baking supplies or dry goods. And they're great for storing delicate items like strawberries or lettuce in the refrigerator. I'll demonstrate how to use them by vacuum packaging these fresh strawberries. Now, the first thing you want to make sure that you do is with your canisters to leave 1 inch of room at the top of the canister. So you don't want to overfill it. You want to wipe the canister rim to remove any food residue. Also, wipe the gasket on the lid to make sure that it's clean and dry. Then just place the lid on top of the canister. Push down and make sure that it's securely sealed. Now here's how you vacuum out the air from the canister. Take the accessory hose that comes with your Food Saver, place one end of the hose right here in the accessory port, press down and give it a little twist so it's in there securely. Take the other end of the hose and put it right here in the hole on top of the lid. Press down with the palms of your hands on the stars. That activates the pump. So just like we pumped out the air from the bag, we're now going to pump the air out of the designer canister. Just wait until you hear the machine shut off. It's that simple. We've pumped out all of the air. It's vacuum packed. Store this in the refrigerator because remember, strawberries are perishable. You want to store them in the refrigerator. Now, to open up the canister, all you have to do is just press and hold down the gray rubber button in the center of the lid. This will release the vacuum and allow you to open the lid. Listen. It's the sound of freshness. It told you that we had vacuum packed those strawberries. Now remember, designer canisters can be stored in the refrigerator, in the pantry, or on your countertop. The bases can be washed in the dishwasher, but the tops should always be hand washed. Don't immerse them in water. Just wipe them with a damp cloth. And always remember to remove the accessory hose from your Food Saver before you vacuum pack with Food Saver bags. The Food Saver bulk storage canisters come in 3 sizes that are perfect for storing large quantities of food. There's a 2-quart size, a 4-quart size, and a 6-quart size. The bulk storage canisters are perfect for storing all those foods that are cheaper to buy in bulk, but that go stale quickly. You know, things like cereals, cookies, crackers, chips, and pretzels. Because of their size, you'll probably want to use the bulk storage canisters for dry goods that you store in the pantry. But they can also be used to store perishable items in the refrigerator. I'll show you how to use the bulk storage canisters by vacuum packaging these cookies. Always remember to leave at least 1 inch of space to the top of the canister. On your bulk storage canisters, it'll even tell you right here the maximum fill line. So leave 1 inch of space. Always make sure that you've got a clean rim on the canister. Clean the gasket on the canister lid so there's no food, grease, or oil. Turn the knob. See the arrow right here? Turn the knob so that the arrow points to vacuum because you're going to vacuum out the air. Place the lid on top of the canister, make sure it's on there securely. Take the accessory hose, place one end of the hose into the accessory port on your food saver lid. Take the other end of the hose and put it right here into the hole on your canister lid. Now you can vacuum out the air. Press down with the heels of your hand, right where the stars are, just like you're doing a food saver bag, and it starts to vacuum out the air from the canister. Now your food saver will vacuum out the air from the canister the same way it does from a food saver bag. Although you can't see the air leaving the canister, the machine knows when all the air is out, it shuts off automatically. Remove the accessory hose and turn the arrow from vacuum to closed. Make sure that it's sealed securely. Now you can store this in your pantry. To open the food saver bulk storage canisters, turn the knob on the canister lid past the word vacuum to the word open. Do you hear the vacuum release? See, this releases the vacuum and allows you to remove the lid. It's really important that when you turn the canister knob, you turn along the paths of the arrows that are on the lid. Don't ever turn the knob this way. If you do that, you're actually loosening the knob, and even a slightly loose knob will prevent you from being able to vacuum a canister. So, if you ever have difficulty vacuuming a canister, always check that the knob is screwed on tightly. And always remember to remove the accessory hose from the food saver if you plan on vacuuming in food saver bags next. The square canister is specially designed to be the right size for marinating. Although you can marinate in any food saver canister, the square canister, because of its shape, requires less marinade. The great thing about this canister is that you don't have to remember to marinate everything the night before. The vacuum action allows the pores of the food, your meat, fish, or poultry, to open up, and it lets the marinade in. So instead of having to marinate overnight, you can marinate in 20 minutes. I'm going to demonstrate how to use the square canister by marinating these pork chops in a lemon pepper marinade. Now remember to always leave 1 inch of room at the top of the canister. So even though I could add more pork chops and marinade to this particular dish, I'd want to make sure I still leave 1 inch to the top of the canister. Wipe the rim of the canister with a paper towel. Make sure that it's clean. There's no marinade on it. Also make sure that you wipe this gasket. Make sure that that's clean. There's no marinade or food there. And then just place the lid on top of the square canister so it sits down securely. Turn the knob on the canister lid to the word vacuum so that the arrow points to the word vacuum on the lid, because we're going to vacuum the air out of the canister. Insert the hose into your food saver accessory port right here, and take the other end and put it right here into the hole on the knob. Now we're going to vacuum out the air. Press down on your machine to activate the pump. Hold down while it's pulling out the air, just like you're doing a bag, except we're pumping the air out of the canister. Now you can't see the air leave the canister, but the machine knows when all of the air has been pumped out, and it will shut off automatically. That's it. Press the word cancel to release the lid, remove your accessory hose, and make sure that it's been vacuum packed, it's on securely. Turn the knob from the word vacuum to the word close. Now it's ready to be put right into the refrigerator for 20 minutes to marinate. Always remember to remove the accessory hose from the food saver if you plan to vacuum package in food saver bags next. Now, to open the food saver square canister, turn the knob on the canister lid past the word vacuum to the word open. Hear the sound of freshness that releases the vacuum, and allows you to remove the lid. Now you can transfer the food from the canister to your cookware for cooking. You can use the base of the square canister in the microwave for reheating foods. The lid can't go in the microwave, but you could use the base to heat up leftovers. To clean up, The base could be washed in the dishwasher, but the top should always be hand washed. Don't immerse the top in water. Just wipe it with a damp cloth. Here are some good tips for using any of the Food Saver vacuum canisters. When you're vacuum packaging powdery foods like flour or even coffee grounds, cut a piece of paper towel and place it on top of the food before you're vacuum packing it. This will prevent the powder granules from being sucked into the vacuum hose. You can even vacuum package foods like soups, stews, and homemade sauces in Food Saver vacuum canisters and store them in the refrigerator, and they'll taste fresh longer. Just remember that you shouldn't vacuum the liquids when they're still hot because they could bubble over. Let them cool in the refrigerator first before vacuum packaging. And remember that whenever you're vacuum packaging Food Saver canisters, always leave at least 1 inch of space at the top of the canister. Because if you don't, the liquid may get pulled into the vacuum hose and you could permanently damage your Food Saver. Here's a handy accessory that will let you vacuum package foods in their original containers, the Food Saver universal lids. You'll use these to vacuum package foods like pasta sauce or chocolate sauce after you've opened the jar, used some of the contents, and want to store the rest. Universal lids come in 2 sizes, a 5.5 inch diameter and a 4 inch diameter. Why are they called universal lids? Because they're designed to fit jars and cans with a variety of different size openings. You can use them on any strong glass jar or even on some cans, like coffee cans, that are strong enough to withstand the force of a vacuum. So how do they work? Well, foods sold in jars and cans have had all the air removed so they'll stay fresh longer. As soon as you open the original container, you let the air in, and now your food will start to deteriorate. So if you use only a small portion of what's in the jar or can and then replace the original lid, you're actually locking in the air that's causing your food to go bad. So throw away that original lid and replace it with a Food Saver universal lid. And now you can vacuum package what's in your original jar and preserve the fresh taste. Let me show you how to do that. I'll be using a 4 inch universal lid to vacuum package this jar of nuts. Just throw away the original lid that came with the jar or can. Make sure that the universal lid is wider than the opening on the jar or can. Make sure the rim of the container is smooth and flat with no jagged edges. Make sure the rubber gasket underneath the universal lid and rim of the container are free from food materials, crumbs, or anything else that could get in the way of a secure vacuum. You'll notice that the knob on the universal lid is the same as the knob on the bulk storage canisters and the square canisters, so you'll use it the same way. Just turn it to the word vacuum. Place it on top of the jar or can. Take your accessory hose and put that into your Food Saver accessory port. Take the other end, put it into the hole on the knob. Press down on your machine. That activates the pump. It starts to pump the air out of the jar. Now, as soon as all the air has been pumped out, your Food Saver will shut off automatically. Remove the hose. Turn that gray arrow from the word vacuum to the word closed. Check to make sure it's vacuum packed. Now, if the food is perishable, like this pasta sauce, remember to store the jar in the refrigerator. To open the Food Saver universal lid, turn the knob from the word closed, past the word vacuum, to the word open. Listen. Like it's a brand new jar of peanuts. You should now be able to remove the lid from the container. The Food Saver universal lids work best on containers with a diameter greater than 2 inches. Otherwise, the universal lid can easily be knocked off, even though it's been vacuum packaged. So handle with care and don't ever lift the jar by grabbing the universal lid. And if you use the universal lids on a can and don't plan on using the food within a day or two, transfer the food to a Food Saver vacuum canister. That way you'll prevent the off flavor that cans transfer to food. Universal lids are easy to clean. Just hand wash them with mild dishwashing soap and warm water, and dry thoroughly before reusing. Here's another great accessory: Food Saver vacuum bottle stoppers. They allow you to vacuum package liquids in their original bottles, and they're great for things like expensive oils that go rancid very quickly, usually before you've used even half of the bottle. Or you can use them to vacuum package wine. Do you ever open a bottle of wine, then store the other half for later? Well, now you can vacuum package it, and you won't lose any of the taste or the wonderful bouquet. Let me show you how the vacuum bottle stoppers work. Make sure that the neck of the bottle is clean and free of any residue. Make sure that the bottle stopper fits snugly inside the bottle. If it's loose, air may get in. Insert the accessory hose into your Food Saver, right here to the accessory port. Put the other end into the bottle stopper. Press down on the machine. It'll vacuum out the air. Takes just a few seconds to vacuum package your bottle of wine. Keeps it fresher longer. Remove the accessory hose from the top. To remove the Food Saver bottle stopper, simply twist and pull up on the bottle stopper to release the vacuum. Listen. That's vacuum packed. You won't want to use the vacuum bottle stoppers with carbonated or sparkling beverages like champagne, because the Food Saver will remove the gas, and that's what gives them their fizz, so they'll become flat if you vacuum package them. And don't use Food Saver bottle stoppers on plastic bottles. They're not strong enough for vacuum packaging. To clean the Food Saver vacuum bottle stoppers, just hand wash them. Another accessory is the Food Saver jar sealer. If you want to vacuum package in mason jars, you'll need to use a jar sealer. The Food Saver jar sealers come in two sizes, regular and wide mouth. Mason jars are readily available at supermarkets and hardware stores, or you may already have mason jars in your home. They're perfect for pantry staples like rice, beans, flour, or brown sugar, or for your homemade gifts of candy or cookies. Mason jars have either a regular opening or a wide mouth opening. If you have the regular size mason jars, you'll need the regular size jar sealer. And if you have wide mouth mason jars, you'll need a wide mouth jar sealer. The wide mouth jar sealer will not work with the regular mason jar. Let me show you how you can use a Food Saver jar sealer to vacuum package in mason jars. I'm going to demonstrate with brown sugar because vacuum packaging is a wonderful way to keep brown sugar moist. I have a wide mouth mason jar, so I'll be using a wide mouth jar sealer. You'll need a mason jar and a flat metal mason jar lid, just like this one. Now you can usually buy lids wherever mason jars are sold. You won't need the screw band section of the mason jar lid when you're vacuum packaging. Before you start vacuum packaging, you need to soften the rubber underneath the metal lid. To do this, bring a pot of water to boil and then turn off the heat. Put the lids in the water and let them soak for 5 to 10 minutes. You'll find these instructions in your user manual. Also, make sure the metal lid of the mason jar is flat, not warped like this one, or bent and nicked like this one. For best results, always use a new lid. Make sure there's no food material or crumbs sticking to the rubber underneath the mason jar lid. Make sure there's no food material or crumbs on the rim of the jar. Take the lid, place it on top of the mason jar. Take your jar sealer and put it on top, press down firmly all the way around. Take the accessory hose, put one end into the accessory port on your Food Saver, the other into the hole on the jar sealer. Press down on your Food Saver, activate the pump. It pumps the air out of the mason jar. Now you can't tell when the air is all gone but your food saver can. It'll shut off automatically. Remove the accessory hose from the jar sealer and then remove the jar sealer. Check to make sure that it's vacuum packed. It's vacuum packed. To remove the mason jar lid, take a spoon and wedge it between the lid and the glass rim, and then just bend it slightly upwards. Listen. That releases the vacuum and lets you back into the brown sugar. If you do this gently, you'll be able to use this lid over and over again. But before reusing the lid, always check that it's still perfectly flat. If it's even slightly warped or bent, you won't be able to remove the air from the mason jar. To avoid accidents, never use a knife to remove the mason jar lid. And don't use a bottle opener because it will bend the lid and you won't be able to reuse that lid again. To clean your food saver jar sealers, just hand wash them using a mild dishwashing soap and warm water. Dry them thoroughly before reusing. Now, don't be confused. You can vacuum package in mason jars with your food saver, but you cannot use a food saver for canning. Vacuum packaging is not the same thing as canning. Although it removes the air, vacuum packaging doesn't heat foods. So perishable foods, like this pasta sauce, even if they've been vacuum packaged in a mason jar, still need to be put in the refrigerator or the freezer. By now, I'm sure you can't wait to start vacuum packaging. Of course, there wasn't time in this video to show you all the food saver vacuum packaging accessories, but in the box with your food saver, you'll find a catalog that lists all the accessories available. And you can order any of the food saver accessories by calling the toll-free number on your screen or visiting our website at www.foodsaver.com. And do take time to read the Food Saver User Manual. It has a lot more information than I was able to share with you in this video. I hope you enjoy vacuum packaging with your food saver.